Greetings, folks, and welcome back to Two Gents, Two Cents, your lovely duo. So I got Foff here. If you're new to the channel, Foff, say hi.
What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Hopefully, you all doing great. We are going to cover Thursday night, the Thursday night game, Texans and Bills. I think we're going to have some upset action, and then we'll do a little bit of a recap, and we'll talk about some of the weekend headlines. I'll give you a hint.
Then,
Spitting.
yeah, pretty atrocious. Just absolutely disgusting.
I love Mike Tomlin's
What
response.
happened?
I know you've been on the road, but did you get a chance to
Yeah,
see what Tomlin said about it?
yeah. I'm sure you guys have already noticed. I'm not in my normal setting. I'm down here on the road in Fort Myers, Florida, right now. So chilling in a hotel. But yeah, no, I did see what Mike Tomlin said today, and
Yep.
fitting, made sense,
Great.
straight to the
Yep.
point.
Yep. Just so everybody doesn't know, I'm not going to say this verbatim, but Mike Tomlin, somebody asked him what he thought about the spitting incident. You know, it was his player that decked him, that decked Jamar. So his response was basically, if someone spits on you, do what's natural. Do whatever
Yep,
your response is to someone spitting on you, do it. And he
yep,
condones it, which I agree with. And I understand the NFL has a body to carry appearance, right? But Tomlin doesn't. If he spits, hit him.
yeah, yeah. And queuing it up a little bit, but I mean, honestly, if we just want to kind of get into it, I mean, I think it's more questioning like how do they go about officiating that kind of thing? Because it's not like, you call the cops and they're trying to, do detective work on like what happened there. Like they see a punch get thrown, that's obviously instant, you're out of the game. But they can't really like use replay or go back in and say, well, this guy spit on him, so does he need to get ejected too? You know what I mean? So hopefully it's not something that we have to talk about a lot, but it's happened like 3 or 4 times this year, and so if it continues to happen, like they're gonna have to do something. I mean, I don't,
It's assault.
Jamar Chase has a fat contract, so he lost a $500,000, but
Yep,
not everybody is making that kind of money. So
exactly. So, all right. Well, like he said, we're kind of queuing it up. So let's redirect here. Thursday night. Again, it's the Texans versus the Bills, and I'm having some flashbacks to the Falcons game. The headline of the day, baby. You guys already know. CJ Stroud is ruled out. It's Josh Allen's time to shine.
yep. You mean Davis Mills, or are you just saying because Stroud's not playing, Josh
Exactly.
Allen needs to
Yeah.
dominate?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which that's I think what everybody would figure would happen here. I feel like these Thursday night games have just been so strange. And in fact, I don't know what the exact number is, but I'm pretty sure every underdog has covered. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I know it's very positive.
Yeah, I think the stats on the underdog has been doing great on Thursday. I think the Steelers Bengals game was the only game that, you know, broke the over for point total. Everything else was under on the points for Thursday.
Buffalo and Tampa didn't crack over. They both it was like
I don't
75 points almost. Was it 44 to 32?
If they didn't, I would say it's because they probably had a point total high. But I
I
don't
don't
know.
know if their point total would have been in the 70s, but
Do
we,
we
we
know when
talk more
CJ
about
Stroud's
the
coming back?
recap stuff. Well, they were saying he'd potentially come back this week, so I'm hoping and thinking that means next week. But I think he's officially listed as day to day, or I guess out for this week, but it's a day to day kind of injury. I don't know. You would think if they're ruling him out this early in the week that it's not something super insignificant. But I don't know. They need to win these games down the stretch. So I don't think they're gonna be holding them back too much. It's not a Joe Burrow or I'm trying to think of another quarterback that I guess it the Niners don't really fall into this category either with Purdy, but
Yeah. So
they still have a chance in
so how
that
do you feel
division.
about the spread? Where are we sitting at 6.5 right now?
I've got it at 6
How do you feel about it?
in favor of
We're
Buffalo.
at Houston, right? Houston's
It's
home
at
team, right?
Houston.
Yeah.
Buffalo's coming off the big a big performance at home
So
against Tampa.
exactly, you're coming off a big performance. I think my brain analyzes the situation, the Buffalo's performance and patterns, and my brain says, go Texans. When you think the Bills are most likely to dominate, they don't. But my heart tells me that the Bills are gonna make fun of them. Basically, they're gonna toy with their feet a bit.
Yeah, I don't really like that Davis Mills is going to be playing. However, if in my opinion, if Houston stays in this game or somehow comes out with a win, it's going to be because they run the ball well. if there is any chink in the armor over there in Buffalo, it's definitely the run defense. I
Said
mean,
chink.
it's pretty terrible. They let Vele, who's a third string running back, I think, put up a buck 20. So, if Woody and Nick Chubb can go down there and get it, then I could see it flipping. And I also feel like this is kind of what, like, we're having the same conversation that we had when Buffalo went to Atlanta a few weeks ago for that night game. I think the spread was even similar. And coming out of that, they were losing the whole game. So I'm going to be on Houston here. I'm interested to
Really?
see.
You think they
Yeah,
cover?
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll probably be on Houston to cover if the number stays at 6. If it goes below like five and a
But
half, I'm
okay, so
definitely not.
tell me why. Do you think it's the Texans defense
It's the
that hold?
voodoo.
I
I think
understand.
it's
Do you think
Thursday night
it's
voodoo.
do you think
Buffalo
it's
coming off a big
well,
win, and
I'm
this is
trying
a
to
lot of
think
points.
analytically, like where do you think that margin, like why do you think it's so low? I mean, what are you doubting? Are you doubting
Well,
Josh?
look at the
Well, hold
run
on.
defense.
Are you doubting Josh Allen and Buffalo's offense, or are you just that confident in the Texans offense? Like where's your biggest
No,
angle?
the Buffalo's defense, rush defense specifically.
Yeah,
The total's
definitely.
at
Yeah,
43 and a half, and Josh Allen doesn't play defense. So if you run the ball and keep him off the field, who cares if he's an MVP? He's not playing. You don't play defense. So that's if you are on Houston, that's what you're hoping for. They can run the ball for a buck 50.
who's their RB1? Is it Nick Chubb?
It's Woody Marks because
Right, but he's
Mixon's
hurt.
still hurt.
He's hurt. So Chubb, is he number one?
Well, I didn't know Woody was hurt. He's their backup. Yeah, then
Pretty
Chubb would be
sure he
number
is.
one, I guess. I didn't think he was. Unless he got hurt last week. He played last week.
No, I think you're right. He's supposed to play. So he's RB1, and he's pretty good. So yeah, I'm with you to that point. But I mean, yeah, I mean the Texans
And their defense
defense.
is really good.
It's the best thing about the team is the defense. So
It's a
if
low
I
point
mean
total.
Buffalo's rush defense has to be absolutely garbage. If that's your reasoning.
Yeah, they're really bad. One of the worst in the league.
If I see the spread go higher, I might lean Texans. I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of weird games
Yeah,
this
I'm
year.
not going to put the game on Davis Mills's back. I mean, I'm not saying I think he's going to go out there and throw a game. I'm saying
I
they
was
control
impressed
the
with how
time
he
of
played.
possession.
Truthfully, I thought he stepped in pretty well.
Yeah, so I mean, even if he does play well, even better. But I
Yeah.
mean, did you watch the Buffalo game last week against Tampa and noon slate?
I was hanging up my Christmas lights while that game was on, so I had it playing in the garage and turned up all the way so the neighbors could get pissed off.
Yeah,
So it was bits and pieces. I saw a lot of failed fourth down conversions by the Bucks.
they were getting after it, but in the first half of that game, the Tampa Bay had a chance to put them away. They could have gone up 28-3. They were pounding them. I mean, they were pounding them.
That changed
Buffalo didn't
quick.
have an answer, and then Josh Allen just turned into an alien in the second half. Josh Allen won the game for him. They were getting pummeled, and then he came back, and second half was just bonkers. So he could definitely do that again, but like, how likely is that? I don't think
Yeah,
you know.
I think
You think at some
where,
point he's not going to be able to do that.
where's the over under?
43 and a half. It's pretty low.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you think they're going to hit the under, then I would lean
I don't know that I
Texans
would
cover
bet
the
the
spread.
under, but if the under does
Well,
hit,
I mean,
that helps
in
Houston.
my opinion, if the Texans cover spread, you hit the under because it means
Yeah,
Josh Allen didn't play like Josh Allen. If we're going to hit the over, then Josh Allen showed up, right? And the reason I'm saying that is if Houston's covering
totally
the
agree.
spread, then there needs to be it'll have to be due to a lack of offense from Josh Allen. If that's the case, Houston's not running up the score that much. I mean, they'll get points, right, with the rush defense. But in my opinion, if you think the Texans cover, you got to go with the under because that means Josh Allen didn't perform. It's not going to be a shootout if they cover. I mean, I feel strongly about that. But if you believe in the over, which would make sense, if you're in favor of the Bills, then I think the over makes sense. Then Josh Allen shows up. The Bills won't stop the Texans' rush often enough to keep it a low score game. So I think it's just how you think Buffalo performs. I think you can get a pretty good baseline of how the Texans will do with their matchup. All of this depends on how well you think Buffalo's going to perform against the Texans defense.
Totally agree. I agree wholeheartedly with all that. That's how I see the game script going, one way or the other. But yeah, the more and more I look at it, just from a numbers perspective, I know one team's got an MVP and the other team's got a backup, but a seven at Buffalo being 7-3, they're not world beaters right now. They do
No,
have issues, especially on the defensive side of the
but they
ball.
beat the Chiefs, the best team in the world.
Maybe we'll see. Chiefs might be kind of cooked.
I think it's actually sacrilegious for me to have Red up with my team playing the Chiefs. There we go. Colts,
Hey,
baby.
yeah, you guys got the Pat Mahomes coming into the building. Or is it
We're in Arrowhead.
in Kansas City?
We're gonna be in some hot waters. It's gonna be that'll be a shootout. That'll be a shootout.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that
better hope it doesn't get too much colder. It looks like it's gonna be just fine right now in the 50s,
yeah,
but
and the
you don't want that dipping down into the 30s.
Chiefs lost their game to the Broncos, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so they're going to come in pissed off. Colts coming off the bye week, but everyone knows how important this game is. So anyway,
Yep.
not to get off topic, but so I want to talk about props, which the NFL is trying to ban everybody. I hope everybody's aware. Very unfortunate. But the props I like for this game are going to be Josh Allen's under on pass yards. I like James Cook rush yards, Dalton Kincaid receptions. I wouldn't go yards because you got Davis Mills. Honestly, would probably lean on the low depending on where it is, what your market value is for that. But I would say it's going to be relatively low. I wouldn't hit the over for him. Nico Collins is
So
still reliable.
you're leaning Buffalo then. You're
Well,
picking Buffalo then.
but I was also going to say that Woody Marks, I would hammer the over on rush yards unless it's already inflated.
Yeah, the exact number is could already be inflated. I definitely don't think where I disagree with you on, but like I said, I'm probably on Houston here. I would rather take Josh Allen over on rushing yards than James Cook. If I think that, you know, Houston keeps it close or is winning, whatever. If Bills are playing from behind, they're not going to be running the ball, period. And if they're not winning, that means that they aren't doing well running the ball. So I think a lot of passing comes from for at least pass attempts,
Yeah,
which if he gets pressured, breeds him scrambling out of the
right.
pocket,
I mean, to
therefore
your
rushing yards.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean that makes sense, right? Because if the Bills are winning, they're going to play conservative. I can promise you, Josh Allen's not going to be running up the gut, trying to break tackles if they're winning. If they're losing, he's going to be in a craze, right? He's going to be
Yep.
playing aggressively, like you said. If they're doing a lot of passing, if they get the pressure, which they will, he's going to scramble. So I think that's a good point. If you're leaning Texans cover, then Josh Allen likely hits his over on rush yards because they're going to get pressure in his face, and his instinct is a rollout.
Yep. That's uh, that's probably my biggest one, and then of course, then you have the cavalcade of Buffalo receivers, which I always think is really tough to bet on week to week because they just don't really have a standout guy that's consistent. At least that Josh, I don't know if it's trust or not being open, but yeah, so that's why I'm more on the focusing on the quarterbacks and the running backs in this game where I feel like are fixed. And I guess you could look at, I mean, if you really wanted to get cheeky with it, if they're not able to run the ball that much, Buffalo really likes putting in their backup Ty Johnson in to run the screen passes. Maybe look at if his reception number is like low, like 1.5, 2.5 receptions, maybe banging that over. But again, that's purely a game script thing. If they're down in the game and they can't get the ball downfield, and obviously they can't run, they'll throw a lot of screens, and that's either going to be to the running back or to the tight end, which I think Dawson Knox is still out or Kincaid is still out, one of the two. So maybe look at the other tight end there.
Let me look because what I'm seeing online is a crazy number for the spread. Let me just double check.
Vegas on to us.
I think
Are
so.
they listening? You listen in Vegas?
Okay.
Listen here.
No, yeah. So the spread's 5.5.
It's gone down even more. See,
Yeah,
yeah.
Bills,
There's some
Bills,
Texans money coming in.
Bills minus 120 on the spread. Texans minus 102 to cover.
So it's 5.5 at 120. Okay, so that's juiced. So it's six.
Yeah, and
It's
the over
juiced.
under hasn't moved at all. I guess we got to place our picks. Where are you going?
Houston +6 at where it's at now.
At 5.5.
Juiced 120. I'm looking at it right now. -6. -110 is where the actual line's set. So go to your alternate spreads and see what -110 is, and I guarantee you it's a 6.
So minus 5.5 is 122. Minus 6.5 is plus 100.
Yeah, so it's 6. But it's probably going to move. I guarantee you it's going to move. I bet it'll straddle that line, though, because
So how does that
if
work?
there are
Because everything FanDuel does is by the point, like 0.5. Everything. They don't do evens.
yeah,
So if they win by 6 and it's -6, does it hit? Do what?
it's a push.
What's that mean?
It's a void. Neutral. Nobody wins. Get your money back. Refund.
That's why they do. That's why FanDuel does 0.5. So that doesn't happen.
But I mean, the lines are moving. So like you could go to another sports book and they could be offering minus 130 at 5.5 or 6. Like it's not standard across the board. That's why, always shop lines. I can't because I'm in Florida. I can only use one sports book. But if you're
Yeah.
in a state like Mark is in Indiana, where you have 6, 7 different books, always shop around for your lines. You can find value on every bet. There's going to be a different, at least a minus 110 to minus 120 on small bets. It might not really matter all that much, but if you're really looking to lay it down, shopping what we call the EV, estimated value, is what you want to look for.
Okay. Give me the Texans.
Okay. Did I convince you? I don't want to be the voice of reason here.
Well, I mean, truthfully, I don't feel strongly either way. And strategically speaking, with us keeping record, I'm just going to side with you. So if we're both wrong, we're both wrong.
Fair, fair. It's a Thursday night too. I honestly
I
like
mean, I do lean.
I
I
can't
lean.
believe I keep picking the damn Raiders, but like I'm probably until this whole like underdog on Thursday night thing goes away, I'm probably gonna take the underdog every time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
It's
mean, I
just like
agree.
pick it until it loses kind of
Yep.
thing. I
Yep.
don't
No, I'm
know.
with you. So yeah, there's some voodoo with Thursday night. All right, let's dig into the recap. So
Yeah.
Texans beat the Broncos. Did you expect it? I didn't. I mean, the Broncos have won every game
They
by
Broncos played the Chiefs,
barely.
not the Texans.
Yeah, you meant what I knew. The Broncos playing the
I didn't
Chiefs, like
actually.
I did not think they would win. The Broncos have won every game by razor thin margin. I just figured the Chiefs would put them away. Bad.
Yeah, I did too. And it's really weird seeing them. I mean, so I am a big believer in Denver's defense, and without Pat Surtain, man, they look freaking sharp. They look violent. I mean, they're really, really good on defense. However, Chiefs are fully healthy now. They don't have any excuses. I still think they really do need a running back, but it was their decision not to grab one at the trade deadline. With them having Worthy, Rasheed Rice, Kelsey's still out there. Hell, Kelsey was their leading receiver this week. So to me, yeah, I totally agree. I expected Pat in there to go in there and take care of business, but yeah, they keep winning these one score games, and for right now, they're the number one seed in the AFC. They haven't lost a single home game this year, 6-0 at home.
Yeah. There's we talked about Jamar Chase. There's also a lot of talk about the penalty that ended the Lions game. I don't know if you saw that. A lot of people are saying that wasn't pass interference. If anything, it was offensive interference. Where do you land on that call? Because that seems to be pretty controversial right now.
I did not see it live. I did see a little bit on McAfee talking about it. It just so I only watched the first half. I'm not gonna lie, boys. I got after it Sunday and may have overstayed my welcome a little bit, and so I'd hit bed early. But it felt like a Philly game. Like they didn't look overly impressive to the point where I thought they should be winning this game against a team you think the Lions, tough, hard-nosed football. But I'm starting to think the Lions just like auto fade them when they play outside. Like I didn't like
Yep.
Jared Goff wearing two gloves. He threw 14 for 37, so not great. And almost felt like them being so bad on offense was more of like the shocking thing to me than the penalty in the end. I thought it was a bad call for sure, but I didn't think the Lions deserved to win that game anyway. So I didn't
Yeah.
feel that bad about it.
Yeah, no, Dan Campbell went for almost every fourth down. It may have been every fourth
Yeah.
down and got zero of them. So I mean, yeah, I agree with you. They had every opportunity and they failed,
I
and
mean, the,
then,
the fake punt, like, did you see that where they,
yeah,
they tried to do the
ex
fake punt
Colt.
and the entire the defense they didn't even put their special teams out there. The entire defense called punt safe, and the regular defense that was on first, second, and third down said punt safe, and they stayed on the field. They were like saying, "Here, punt the ball. We're
Yeah.
not gonna let you fake." And everybody on the Lions heard that, and they didn't change the call. They still ran it. I thought it was like I'm all for like going for it. That's your ball game, but like some of those were a bit egregious, a little too much for my tasting. And it knocked them. They're not even the leading division anymore. In fact, they're not even second.
Yeah.
They're behind the Packers and the Bears.
So, I mean, aside from that, I think the biggest story is Jamar Chase suspended. He has appealed his suspension for spitting. He said that if I was going to spit on somebody, I'd spit in their face. So you can
Yeah, he did.
take
We
that.
caught you in 4K, buddy.
Yeah,
We already caught you.
he didn't spit in his face, but he definitely spat at him. So yeah, super egregious. I think one
So
game
he's a bad
suspension
shot, is what you're saying.
is. I think one game suspension is lenient. He is a bad shot. So obviously he's a quitter if he's a spitter. There's my
Well,
dad joke.
hopefully it learned him a little bit, but I highly doubt it. It was
No. No, I watched the post game. I watched the post game interview, and it was the most scumbag, child, just ignorant response you could imagine.
yeah.
They said, Why'd you spit on him? Did you spit on him?" And he's like, "Man, you can
He said
clearly
I didn't spit
see
on anybody.
I didn't spit on anybody. I spit on the ground." Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, right, buddy. I
yeah,
mean,
right, buddy.
luckily, the only silver lining to it, because at the time I was pissed because that game was really close at the time, and that gave him a first down. Luckily, the rest of the game we just dominated, so it didn't really matter. But if that would have been a big deal and that would have caused, an issue at the end of the game, they could, somehow would have lost. I think that would have been a way bigger story. And I think, if this upholds one game suspension, I almost think the next time it happens, it's gonna be more than that. I mean, I don't think they're gonna I don't think they're gonna put up with this anymore. I don't know what you do officiating in real time, but as far as after the game, I think the punishments are just gonna start getting a little more severe. I just gotta say. Besides that, though, there were a lot of other games, and I did want to ask you about this. Did you end up watching any of that Seattle Rams game?
No, I didn't.
Did you? Okay, well, Darnold threw 4 picks. He looked
Wow.
awful, 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 and they still only lost by 3. But what do you think about Darnold? I mean, this is another big game where he just goes in and lays a, you know, dump, piling,
I mean,
steamy dump.
I think Darnold's as good of a lot as a lot of other QBs. I don't know why, but him and Jones both got targets on their back, and I think they're graded unfairly. You know, the numbers he put up last year in the season, he was great. I mean, sure, he had some bad games, and he had a bad game last week, but it's crazy. One week you'll hear people talk about Jones and Darnold the same way. Darnold could have a great game, just stunner performance, and they'll say, "Great, great, he's a hero. He's the best QB. He's top 5, whatever, right?" And then next week he plays a game like freaking Jaden Daniels, right, where you get 15 fantasy points and maybe some interceptions and a fumble, and he's the worst damn player in the league. I think
I
he's
can't believe you're
good.
comparing him to Jaden Daniels right now. Second year guy. Just because he's on your fantasy team, he got hurt this year. He's a great player, all right? A great
I
player.
disagree. I disagree. I mean, he's not.
You're
He doesn't
crazy.
have his
You're
ability to make
crazy.
explosive plays. Brock
You're
Purdy.
crazy.
Good quarterbacks. But I think that saying Sam Darnold's the worst quarterback in the league, he's trash. He's trash everywhere he goes. I am surprised that the Vikings let him go. I mean,
They didn't want to. They tried to offer him a contract, but they
they
just
right.
like Daniel Jones,
They
like
wouldn't. They
they
didn't
weren't giving him
compete.
that.
They should have kept at least one. But to answer your question, I don't think he's a Tom Brady, but I don't think he's as bad as he's portrayed to be. I think it's just a fun talking point for the media.
Yeah. Well, first on that, because I'm going to rebuttal a little bit. We're not going to talk about Jaden Daniels, but I severely disagree with. I think he's a million times better than Sam Darnold already, and he's just second year. With that being said, I think the problem I have with Darnold is the fact when he's on, he could be a 10 out of 10, like world beater. But when he's not on, he's like a 1 or a 2. He doesn't have that like in between sort of like get you over the hump. I can just have an okay game and still win. It just seems like to me it's either one or the other.
Okay,
And I also
how?
think he's been when he played for Minnesota last year and this year with Seattle, he has a very, very elite defense.
So
Like, we
how?
talk about Bo Nix not being very good because he gets to hide behind a really good defense. I think Darnold's in my opinion, again, this is my opinion, I think he's been doing the same thing. I think he's just okay,
Yeah,
but I don't think he's great.
Daniel's just okay. Tell me Daniel's best game. How many receiving yards he had?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Just guess. Just guess.
I just don't think you can judge him off this year. He has not played with any of his
It's half his
receivers.
NFL career. What do you mean you can't judge him off
And
this
last
year?
year, he almost went to the Super
Well,
Bowl.
this year he's going to the toilet bowl. He's an
Yeah,
okay
well,
player.
look, no Debo Samuel,
He's an
no
okay
Terry
player.
McLaurin half the year. You don't have a running back. His first string running back got hurt out for the year week 2. Give him a break. Give him a break.
Okay.
It's not all about your fantasy team, brother. It's not all about your fantasy team. It's real life football players. Real life football.
Okay.
We know
Okay.
things happen.
So let me just pull up Sam Darnold stats. By the way, he had 2 games
Does
where he
does
didn't even
does
touch
Jaden
200.
Daniels have a Jackson Smith and Jigba or a Justin Jefferson? No.
You didn't know who
Or a
Jigba
defense?
was before
Does he have a
Darnold
top
got
five
there.
defense? No.
Who was the other guy you said?
Justin Jefferson, even
Yeah,
better than
everyone knew who
Jackson
he
Smith and
was,
Jigba.
right? I mean, no. So
Justin
Darnold is.
Jefferson's the best receiver in the league, and Sam Darnold
Everyone
got to
knew who
throw
he
to
was
him.
already before he became his quarterback. So, but when you look at Jigba or whatever, if it wasn't for stellar quarterback play, you wouldn't know who the hell he
Brother,
was.
he was a star last year. That's why they got rid of
No, he
DK Metcalf. They didn't
wasn't,
need
bro.
him.
He was. He's the
You
talk
didn't
of
watch
the
this
town
kid in
now.
college
He's the
either.
talk
He's
of
a
the town now.
top 10 draft pick. You don't
Darnold
know
put
what
him
you're
on the map.
talking about.
Put him on the map. You just
I,
what is
we gotta
Darnold from
clip this.
Ohio? Is that why you hate him so much?
No, Smith and Jigba's actually, I think he went to Ohio State.
No.
Might be wrong on that.
Did Darnold
Darnold,
go
I
to
have no idea where
Ohio?
he's from.
Yeah.
Darnold's not, is he from Ohio?
I don't know, but you hate him like he is.
I don't hate him. He's not
Well,
great.
you
He's
tell
just
him. You tell him
okay.
that. You tell him that. You just
He
shit
does
on
not
his whole
deserve
life.
$35 million a year, I'll tell you that much. He can't win the big game. You can't put the game on his shoulders. And again, he gets to
Okay,
hide behind a
so
really good defense
how
and a
many
good wide receiver.
How many big games? I mean, most quarterbacks in the league haven't won Super Bowls.
Jaden Daniels went to the NFC Championship
Big
as a
games of Super
rookie
Bowl.
for a
He
team that hadn't been
didn't
there
make it to
in
the Super Bowl.
20 years.
That's the big game. NFL's the
And you
big
think
game.
Sam Darnold can make it to the Super Bowl? He can't even win a playoff game.
No, I'm just saying that my comparison of him to Daniels is valid.
Insane. It's insane.
They're both okay.
They're
They're
gonna,
good.
boys. You better cook him for this one. If you watch this and you hear that portion, you better
It's
roast
because it's
him.
the cool thing, right? The cool thing is to shit on Darnold.
I'm
That's
not
the cool
shitting
thing.
on him, but you can't shit on Jaden Daniels. You just can't do that.
Find me one stat.
He's the best
Okay.
quarterback that came out of the draft last year.
Okay, find me 2 stats where Daniels was better than Darnold this year.
Two completely different situations, but I'll
You guys
find
are
it.
about to see how wrong he was.
Dude, one has a top 5 defense and a top 5 receiver, and the other one has no defense, no running back, and no receivers, and you're comparing them. Crazy.
How does the receiver get the ball? How does the receiver get the ball?
What I'm saying is
Is
his
it
receivers
magic?
are hurt.
Have we upgraded to Wi-Fi
He doesn't have
NFL?
receivers, brother. Who's Jaden Daniels' number 1 receiver?
McLaurin. Well, he was.
And who hasn't been playing the whole year? Who's his number 2?
You can't put
Who's number 2?
stipulations on it. It's pure
You can.
performance.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Who's his number 2?
Your
Debo
mom.
Samuel,
That's who
also
number
out.
2 is, your mom.
Also, Debo Samuel, also out. Who's number 3?
It's okay. You're wrong. It's fine.
Luke
We still love
McCaffrey.
you.
Luke McCaffrey's his number 3, also not playing. Who's his
Well,
number
then that
1
means
running
he's
back?
an even worse quarterback because he keeps throwing the ball in bad spots where he's going to get his receivers killed. Better
He's
ball
not throwing
placement.
hospital balls, bro. These are
Better ball
some of these are
placement.
practice injuries. You have no
Better ball
idea what you're
placement.
talking about.
Better ball placement.
All right, let's look. All right, what was Sam Darnold's quarterback rating on October 13th? Because I guarantee you it wasn't 120.2. Sam Darnold, quarterback rating, October 13th. It was the same replay. But they lost.
Whatever. All I'm saying is they're similar.
Either
right?
way, it's just
You can say
completely
Jay-
different team.
You can say Jaden Daniels is better. That's fine. But my point is Darnold's a good player. You know,
He's good. I'm not arguing he's not good.
Yeah,
he
I
deserves
think he's
to be a
just-
starting quarterback.
Yeah,
he's just not great.
judged. But why does he have a target on his back?
Because he's failed in 3 other places, and he went to USC, and he was supposed to be a golden boy. And
But
Colin
did he-
Cowherd,
Did he fail
Colin
or did he not
Cowherd-
have a team around him?
kind of put him as the. Do you know who Colin Cowherd is? The
Douche.
biggest Fox guy. He's
was
the biggest
coach
Sam
of a
Darnold.
terrible NFL team. Bunch of terrible players. Yeah.
I love Colin Cowherd. He's awesome on TV.
Who'd
I
he
think
coach?
we might be thinking about a different person here. Doesn't work for the NFL. He works for Fox.
Yeah. But where was he before Fox?
ESPN.
I'm thinking of.
I think you're thinking of a different guy. This guy's never a part of an
who I'm
NFL
thinking
team.
of. What's his name?
Fox, and then went from ESPN to Fox.
No, who is the Steelers quarterback or the Steelers head coach 10 years ago?
Bill Cowher.
Yeah, that guy.
You don't like Bill Cowher?
No,
How dare you?
I would
That
like
is
to
the
point
man-
out that Cowherd to Coward or whatever the hell, last name's the same. Easy misconception.
Yeah, easy misconception for sure, but you can't not like Bill Cowher. That's like the manest man of all time.
Sure, I
It's like,
can. He iced
not like
Vander
in
Jacked.
It's like it's not.
He
it's
iced
like
Vander-
if
he
you
iced
don't like
Vander
Clint
Jack.
Eastwood. You saying you don't
Vanderjack
like Clint Eastwood?
Vanderjack makes that kick if he doesn't ice him.
Sure. But blame
Butterfly
Vanderjack for
effect. Trump would
missing.
never have been our president. No, nobody would have been our president. 9/11 wouldn't have happened retroactively.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say 5 years after the fact or four and a half.
Retroactive.
But yeah,
We got a lot of hot takes tonight.
yeah, I was gonna say where I was going with this with Coward. He's the big Fox guy, and he was, before McAfee was around, he was pretty much the
He's
biggest guy on
Mahomes' boy. He's
TV.
Mahomes' boyfriend. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say Sam Darnold's boyfriend. That's why I was bringing him up. He's loved Sam Darnold since he played for the Jets. He's his darling. So he's been kind of put up on a pedestal, and because people like to disagree with Colin, I'll say he has a little bit to do with why people don't like Sam Darnold. But no, I just think, you play for the Jets and nobody works out there, so I don't fault him for that one. I don't fault him for Carolina either. I don't really think he's gotten that fair of a shake. But I don't think he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I don't think he's that capable. I just don't.
How old is he?
He's not that old. He's like our age. I think he's like 28,
Yeah, I
29.
mean, it's just I don't know. I think what you see a lot of times is it's like the
It's the same reason Jones
it's
has the
to
target.
me it's this the cycle's like the poverty trap, right? So
He's 28.
there's a team that doesn't have a great team. They don't do well. They cut the quarterback, right? Usually the quarterback's easiest to blame. And easiest to look like they're the issue, right? Then the next team picks them up. Typically, you're picking up a veteran. You're probably in a bad, shitty place, and you're hoping the quarterback band-aids it, right? And the cycle continues. I mean, the Colts got lucky with Jones, but it's the same shit. The Colts were desperate. We had Richardson, we had Wentz, we had Flacco, we had Minshew. I mean, the list goes on.
Hope Rivers.
Yeah, and we throw another quarterback at it, thinking it'll fix it. Well, we got lucky. But it's easy for these quarterbacks to be thrown into the lion's den and expect to fix everything. And when they don't,
Yeah.
They're terrible.
Well, I think we put quarterbacks like Mahomes and Allen that just do, or Lamar Jackson that are so good that they will their, I just don't, I think we like those guys. And if you're not those guys, you're ass,
Yeah.
basically, is how a lot of people, and I obviously totally disagree with that sentiment. I think anybody that makes it into professional sports is obviously super talented. There's
Except
not
for
that many
Shedeur.
positions. Listen, we can talk more about that on Saturday. We'll go on for an hour. I can't believe what Cleveland.
Is the Dion
They're such a
quote
terrible
legit?
organization.
Is Dion's quote
What?
legit?
I didn't see his quote.
All right, I'm pulling it up.
I just know that Shador didn't have a single snap with any of the ones until he went into that game. And the fact that he would get sacked and nobody on that team helps him up or tries to, I mean, they had zero backing behind him, and the entire stadium lit up when they went into the game. He went into the game garbage organization for allowing that. I mean, you got to pick up your teammate. I mean, what is going on there? Literally, what is going on there? And to not have one practice snap ever throughout training camp, throughout practice, throughout nothing with any of those guys, to me is also crazy. I don't care if he's a fifth rounder. I mean, he's your backup for that game. You went in.
I think that's all I have for the week.
You didn't have the Dion quote?
No, so I'm not gonna say it because I think it may have just been clickbait. So I can't find it, but if I see it, we'll talk about it Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. Despicable by the Browns. I honestly am pulling for the kid now. I hope that he somehow gets out of there.
I know he's got a terrible attitude. I don't like his attitude.
I think he's fixing his attitude.
Good.
I really do.
Good.
I'm pulling for him, for real. I want him to do well.
If
Because screw
he
Cleveland.
If he gets humble, then sure. But yeah, I think that's it for this week.
Another one in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Again, give us all the feedback in the world. Roast him, absolutely. Flare him up, grill all the way to 1,000. Turn the smoker on, get the wood pellets in the Traeger on the Jaden Daniels comments. But other than that, yeah, I think that'll wrap it up for me on my end. Go Pittsburgh this week. We're playing with a backup maybe against the Bears.
Okay, to finish off what he said, smoke me on a Traeger. We're going to go back to overrated and underrated. Pit Boss is also just as good. Traeger's just better at marketing. They're not the best smokers.
Fair.
All right. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you Saturday. Peace.